It's a long way to the top. If you want to rock and roll, you want to rock and roll? Driving on the highway, going to a show. Driving on the byway, getting rock and roll. Getting round, getting stoned, getting beat up, getting boned, getting high, getting shook. I'll show you folks, it's harder than it looks. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. If you feel it's easy to do one night stands, try being a rock and roll band. It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll.
Good evening, race fans. I'm your host, Caden Rife, and welcome back to the 2007 season of the NASCAR Coca-Cola Cup Series as we take to race number 9 of 36 of the 2007 season here from Vegas. It's the UAW-Daimler-Chrysler 400 as we take to a little bit of a West Coast swing here in the mid-portion of this season. Race number 9 coming your way from the flat mile-and-a-half here from Sin City as we get set for a race under some cloudy skies in Vegas as we take you to the racetrack for the first time in a little while for your starting lineup in today's race. Starting on pole today is going to be Ryan Newman's number 38 car starting in first, along with Greg Biffle in the 16s in second place. 13th, Jesus. P3, can you tell it's been a while? Casey Kane is going to be in third, joined by Brian Vickers in P number 4, and Casey Atwood's number 30 rounds out the top 5. Ricky Hendrick will be in P6, and 7th goes to Tony Stewart. 8th is going to be Kyle Busch in the 43, Jeff Gordon will start in 9th, and Robbie Gordon will round out the top 10 in P number 10. Jason Leffler in 11th, and 12th goes to Jeremy Mayfield. That's row number 6. P13, DJ Kennington's number 81. David Rudiman will start 14th. Juan Pablo Montoya is in the 15th position, and Jimmy Johnson is in 16th. 17th, that's going to be Bobby Labonte. 18th goes to his teammate Carl Edwards. Those two Gibbs drivers in that row. 19th will be Scott Riggs, and 20th goes to Kurt Busch in the 01. Martin Truex Jr. starts 21st, and John Andretti in the 22nd position. 23rd, Scott Wimmer, and Jamie Murray in the 24th position. Brad Keselowski starts in 25th, and Matt Kenseth will be in the 26th spot. 27th, Jack Sprague's number 78, and Kevin Harvick will be in the 28th position. 29th goes to Todd Bodine, and Casey Mears in 30th. 31st is going to be Jeff Burton's number 8, Clint Boyer in the 32nd spot. J.J. Yaley starts from P33. Eric Norris will be in 34th. Dale Earnhardt Jr., P35. Marcos Ambrose will round off in the 36th position. 37th, that's Bobby East in the 60. Elliott Sadler will be in 38th. AJ Allmendinger getting the start in the 07. He'll be 39th. Jeffrey Bodine will start in 40th. And rounding out the field, it'll be Mike McLaughlin in the 26th. And Ricky Craven making his first start of 2007 in the 96 car for Hall of Fame. And that is your 42 car field here tonight. Ryan Newman and Greg Biffle, a couple of Fords on the front row to start us off here today. 85 laps is your race length as we take you to the racetrack for the most famous words in motorsports, the Command, here from Las Vegas.
Drivers, start your engines!
Field clamors to life, 42 car field as always as we get set to roll under these cloudy skies in Las Vegas. Couple of Fords as mentioned. Newman's number 38 going to lead us off here today, as him in the 16 on the front row. So, getting started here in Las Vegas, couple of things worth noting as always pre-race. Vegas, the flattest of the intermediates on the calendar, mile-and-a-half racetrack here in Sin City. And it is a very, very racy racetrack is Vegas. We always see a lot of moves here. Guys really like to get aggressive. Lots of 2 and 3 wide throughout the field. Take a while to string the field out. We will see it eventually. Usually the pit stops like to split the field out. And fuel and tires, not as important as this racetrack. We always love to talk about tires in this series, but this racetrack not quite as important here, but still nonetheless worth noting. Getting onto pit road is hard at this racetrack. Of course, Vegas, a flat intermediate, something unlike most of the other cookie cutters on this calendar. So we'll see a unique challenge here today, and we always love to see the racing at this racetrack. Vegas is such a fun watch always. But race number 9 getting set to go as Ryan Newman and Greg Biffle to lead the field to the green flag here. 85 laps is your race length here today. Pace car peels off. Couple of Fords. It's the Yates 38 starting in first, and we are green here from the UAW-Daimler-Chrysler 400 as we race off into turn number 1. And leaving turn 4, another thing worth noting at this racetrack, that outside loves to prevail in these side-by-side battles, and Greg Biffle's number 16 from the outside pole just about leads the first lap. Ryan Newman had a big run down the front stretch, took it back to his inside, trying to retake the spot he started in. Biffle hanging tight on the outside, and once again, bit of a power on corner exit. Newman trying to hang with him. Instead, Casey Kane looks to take it 3 wide on the bottom. Isn't going to be 3 wide as Biffle clears the both of them off into turn 3. And he's got the lead. So 16 and 12 now in the fight for first. Big pack of cars up front. Biffle leads the first 2 laps in a row. But Kane down on the bottom into turn number 1. Clears the 16 down low, and he has first down the back stretch. First official lead change of the night, as Kane quickly moves off into P1, out in front of the 2 Fords battling for second place. It's Newman and Biffle still. Vickers off to a good start in tonight's race. He sits in the 4th position. Battle for 5th is between Stewart and Jeff Gordon. And Vickers going to try and get underneath that 38 for 3rd. Having a great start to tonight's race, and now he gets underneath a Biffle for 2nd. Kane kind of checking out in the lead. Well clear of these 3 who battle for 2nd, at least for the moment. Vickers has some speed underneath him to start. Tony Stewart pulling up to the 38 for the 4th position. Newman trying to hang tight on the outside. But Stewart is going to prevail down low. See Biffle been working the outside the best out of this top 10 to start this race. Has really found some speed up there and has stayed in front of every single battle he's been a part of, sans Kane, who has the early fastest car at the moment. Just a couple of laps into this race, Vickers Hanging tight on the outside, and 3 wide there for the third position as Newman tried to duck it way low down into turn 3. 3 wide behind them as well as Jeff Gordon in a Childress sandwich right now between the teammates Atwood and Robbie Gordon. Newman getting pulled back into this battle. You see Mayfield joining the fight. Last week's winner Montoya is here as well as Kyle Busch and Ricky Hendrick, and it is a big pack up front right now. A lot of quick race cars sandwiched together. Top 2 has remained unchanged since lap 3. Still Biffle and Casey, second and first. So the 16 closer to Kane than he has been since he lost that lead. Top 2 break away a little bit. Tony Stewart in third, Vickers in fourth. Almost 4 wide behind the fourth place car, Brian Vickers, as Kyle Busch getting the nose out there. Getting aggressive. We see 3 wide behind Robbie Gordon, who he's going to end up on the top of it with his teammate Atwood behind him. Jeff Gordon in the middle, Kyle Busch on the bottom. Ryan Newman trying to follow through on the bottom with the 43. Teammate of Kyle Busch is Mayfield behind that 38. Trying to maybe take it 4 wide into turn 3. Thought better of it. Early in the race, trying to stay patient. Gordon trying to find a way through on the middle. Atwood no grip on the very outside. And Jeff Gordon prevails in that battle for the moment. Kyle Busch trying to find the way underneath of him. Vickers and Robbie Gordon, this is side by side for fourth. And it's a pair of Gordons on the bottom of Vickers as Jeff Gordon going to try and pass his teammate for the 5th spot, and he gets the nose ahead into turn 3. Has to take the entry a little leaner thanks to the 31 and 42 up in front of him, but got a good bite on the exit, going to get underneath of Robbie Gordon for 4th. Vickers trying to take it 3 wide. He does. Gordon got a little squirrely there on the front stretch. Opens the door for Brian. And he gets clear of the 24 on the bottom, still side by side with Robbie on the outside. Stewart getting pulled back into this mix. Kyle Busch finds some speed. Kennington has picked up some spots on this run. Sits in 9th. Excuse me, P8 now, I believe. Might even be higher. Hard to tell between these guys. Was P8 at the line, battling Kyle Busch for 7th and Robbie Gordon for 6th. Vickers took a counterattack on Tony Stewart for 3rd. Made it work. He moves into P3. Trying to fend that 42 off as Stewart took a look to the outside. Going to drive it way deep off into turn 3 to stick with the 44. See if he can find some exit speed. Kennington on rails at the moment. He moves the bottom of 3 wide, taking Montoya with him. Vickers ends up worse off out of the battle with the 42 thanks to Stewart's heavy entry into turn 3 the last time. And it keeps him in 3rd. Kennington all the way up to 4th. A heck of a climb by that 81 as he moved up probably 10 spots in the last 4 or 5 laps. And moves himself into the top 5. Kane still leading. Comfortable lead over Greg Biffle's 16 car right now. It's lap number 14. As a 12 continues to control this race with Biffle still comfortably in 2nd. Battle for 3rd. Kennington underneath of Tony Stewart for the 3rd spot. Couldn't quite clear him. Stewart with the better exit. See if the 42 can get past into 3. He could not. Kennington going to put the power down. But Stewart beat him back to the gas. Still a dead heat between these two. Montoya, again, winner of last week's race at Talladega. Race number 8 of the season. Captured his first NASCAR Sanctioned Series victory that race. Finds himself in the top 5. Biffle getting pulled back into this. 81 and 84 seem like the fastest cars on the racetrack right now. Kennington going to go to the outside of Biffle, opens the door for Montoya, and Stewart going to jump on the opportunity to take it 3 wide up the middle. Robbie Gordon into this mix. It's a 5-car battle for second now. Montoya, a stellar exit, got the bite off of the turn. Can he hang with Biffle into 3? He does. But Biffle drove it off just a little bit deeper. Kennington got a little bit tight there mid-corner, opens the door for Stewart to cut through the gap. Does he block Robbie Gordon? He does. See if the 31 stays in line going into turn 1. Robbie gonna take his time. Montoya underneath of Biffle, 4P2. Side by side as they leave turn number 2. Kennington right there in the mix. Taking a look to the outside of Montoya. Montoya drove it into turn 3 that time. Biffle almost cut him off. Wasn't expecting Montoya to go hard on the brakes. And the 84 moves into second. So Montoya into the runner-up spot. First time we've seen anybody other than Biffle and Kane in the top 2 since lap 3. Couple of rookies, Montoya and Kennington. Second and third out of turn 2. All 4 different manufacturers, members of the top 5 right now. Robbie Gordon thinking about taking it 3 wide, and he's going to do it. Down the front stretch and towards turn 1. Gordon on the bottom, Stewart in the middle, Biffle up top. Jimmy Johnson has found some mid-race speed. Robbie Gordon cleared all 2 of them. On his outside. It was a 42 and 16. Man, Jimmy drove it in there to get it onto the bottom of 3 wide, keep it 3 wide. Biffle, no grip on the outside. We're seeing these lines. That outer line, a little bit of a challenging line to run in 3 and 4. We've seen, well, Biffle had a huge run out of the corner. Seeing these guys when they're on the top of 3 wide, usually the outer driver can keep it with these guys when they go through turns 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, you kind of fall off the table a little bit in that set of corners. That middle line works pretty well all the way around the track. The bottom is where you want to be if you're single file. And tell you what, passed for the lead that last time by. Juan Pablo Montoya got underneath Kane the last time by, and on lap number 21 now, he has the lead. First lead change in almost 20 laps. Montoya passes his fellow Pontiac, and the 84's got first place. Robbie Gordon once again looking strong. Sits P3. Kane gonna block him. Taking a look on Montoya into turn 3. Couldn't get the nose underneath him. Montoya using a bit more of the racetrack to have just a slightly better exit. Again, thought about trying to get under him, that time into turn number 1. Just leaning on that back bumper, and Montoya got a little tight. Here comes the 12. On the bottom here, out of turn 4. Can he keep it there? Montoya clears him for the moment. Gonna give him some room, but Kane couldn't hang with him, and Montoya stays in the lead once again. It's a 3-car race. 4P1. Montoya, Kane, and Robbie Gordon battle for 4th. Right now between Johnson, Kennington, and Biffle. Pole sitter Newman has found a second breath of speed on the long run. Joining this mix. And this group really gained some time on Robbie Gordon, Casey Kane, who were a little slower than Montoya out of 4. Gordon going to go underneath here. This is for second. Side by side. Kane a big run on the outside line out of turn 2, and he clears the 31. Down the front stretch they go. Montoya, Kane, Gordon, Johnson, Kennington, a huge run, looking for 4th on the 48. side by side between these two. We see the field string out just a little bit once again. It's kind of just that push and pull that we've seen at this racetrack where we see them string out, catch back up. A lot of accordion effect here. Kane taking a look on Montoya into turn 3. Had a lot of bite in the middle of the corner. Does he keep it with him on exit? He does. Good exit by Kasey Kahne. Has the lead at the stripe. See if he can clear him off into turn 1, and he does just that. Robbie Gordon going to move underneath for second place. Montoya around the outside. Got a big, juicy run out of the turn. Kane going to try and block the bottom. Montoya thinking about going around the outside. So we might see pit stops in a lap or two here. Thought Kane might have came in there, but he didn't. Montoya just kind of overdrove it there, trying to stay with the 12, so Kane has the lead that time. Montoya stays in second. Johnson and Robbie Gordon battling for third. But that pit window should be coming up pretty soon here. In the Busch race, we saw the pit window be about 28, 27 laps or so. So would expect these drivers to come in here, and Kane is going to bring it to the bottom of the racetrack. Montoya will go around his outside, and Kane, right on time, race leader, brings it down pit road. Lap number 27. Juan Pablo Montoya stays out as opposed to his Pontiac rival, and he leads the next lap with Robbie Gordon sticking with him as well. And it is right on the nose. We see it at this racetrack. The fuel run is tantalizingly close to making it as far as you want to go. You're going to see these drivers, a couple of guys are going to stay out long here. Mayfield's number 54 is the first car of the drivers who stick it long on the racetrack. Mears, Sadler, Boyer, and Kenseth. Also members of this group, you see J.J. Yaley back there as well in the 10 car. Burton, Norris, Allmendinger. The members of the top 8 who stay out just an extra lap trying to ensure their fuel strategy. And that is if this race goes green. We see, usually we get cautions when these drivers are on their pit cycles. These guys, it's a really tough racetrack to get into pit lane. Man, what a pit stop by Jimmie Johnson here, as he gets out in front of Kasey Kahne, who was the race leader coming in. See what the stick is leaving pit road. Montoya out of the access road and yields net P1. Jimmie Johnson, a fantastic pit stop by the 48. Puts him out in front of the 12 of Kane, and Jimmie Johnson with a stellar stop, I believe, is going to be your race leader here on lap number 30. Last group leaving pit road, Mears and Mayfield side by side. So out of pit road, Jimmie Johnson, number 48, is going to be your race leader this time. Kane right on his tail in second. Third belongs to Montoya. Kennington in fourth. And Robbie Gordon rounds out the top 5 in the number 31. Dale Earnhardt Jr., a nice run up to this point in the race, moves himself into 6th. Fantastic recovery drive by him after qualifying. And the rest of the top 10, Edwards in 7th. In the middle of 3 wide there, as it is 7th, 8th, and 9th battling for that position. And the last car in the top 10 right there, Brad Keselowski's number 2. As it's a 3-horse race for now P8, as Stewart got past all of them for P7. Couple of drivers that had some real rough pit stops. Casey Atwood all the way down the order. You see Ricky Hendrick, Wimmer, McMurray all lost a ton of time on pit road and are now mired in this race. Casey Atwood's number 30, who was a member of the top 10 to start this race, is now in dead last. Battle for the lead. Kasey Kahne and Jimmie Johnson side by side for first. Kane's got the nose ahead out of turn 4. Johnson a little bit of a better run at the line. Man, too close to call there. Ticker says Casey Kane had the lead at the stripe that time. Still side by side into turn 1. Johnson trying to get that bite on exit. Kane stuck it with him, though. Dead heat down the backstretch still. Johnson really drove it off into turn 3. Did he clear him? He didn't. Does Kane get the better exit? Not quite, but going to stay with him still down the front stretch. Still side by side. Jimmy Johnson leads again at the line. Kane just doing everything he can on that bottom lane. The outside is the advantage when you're side by side. But if you nail it right, it can stick it with him. Johnson, a better exit out of 2 that time. Kane still on the quarter panel. Trying to just find that front end grip, but couldn't stick with him for long. And Jimmy Johnson clear again on the outside, holds on to first. Montoya not long out of it in third. You see him back of your frame. Kane again, a big run out of turn 2, trying to take it to the bottom of Jimmy Johnson for first once more. Had a fabulous run in the middle portion of the corner. Has about half a car length on him out of the turn. This time by Casey Kane, the leader once more. Does he clear him? He does. 12 back to P1 with 50 laps to go. Johnson going to try to mount a counterattack here, going down the front stretch. Got underneath him, pulls up alongside. Montoya closing in from third. Johnson has the nose ahead into turn 1. See if Kane can work that top. And he did just that. Beautiful exit. Montoya all the way to the back bumper of the 48, who pushed way tight out of turn 2 that time. Can he make something happen? Side by side. Not gonna happen. Jimmy Johnson holds on to P2. Montoya thinking about sticking with him and maybe trying to send it up the inside into 1, but is gonna think better of it. Kennington closing in from 4th. Gordon Jr. Keselowski not far out from 5th, 6th, and 7th. Kane once again back to the lead. Johnson had a monster run out of turn 4 that time. Going to go to the bottom. Kane going to let him have the lane. Johnson had a splitter ahead going into turn 1, but Kane a huge first corner, and he once again clears the 48. And Johnson way on the back foot. All of the rest of this top group lost a lot of time. Montoya with a chance on the front stretch. Gonna duck underneath the 48. Door to door for second once again. 48 and 84. Montoya on the bottom, and he is clear. Can he slide up in front? The answer is no. Johnson sticks around the outside, pulls all the way back up to his front fender. Kennington piling the pressure on from 4th. But Montoya got around the 48. Does he have anything for Kane for the lead? Kennington had a big run. Got underneath him first. Approaching halfway in this race. Johnson almost took it 3 wide up the middle. Kennington trying to clear Montoya. Does he do it? He does not. Montoya barely alongside into 3. Kennington, a huge dive down into turn 3. Trying to get all the way to the lead. Side by side between the top 2. Kane's got the run on the outside. Does he lead the lap? Kennington does. What a drive off into turn 3 by Kennington to get underneath for first. Does he clear him in 1 and 2? He will. What a move. DJ Kennington to first. And it'll be halfway in the race at the line. 42 completed, 42 to go. Kennington out into P1. Kane in second. Battle for third is between Johnson and now Robbie Gordon. Side by side as they leave turn 2. Gordon trying to hang with him, but Johnson's going to clear him into 3. Down the back stretch, Kane with a run on a turn 2. Pulls up to the bumper of Kennington, sticking behind him. Single file now between this top 6. Though Johnson had a big run to the bottom out of turn number 4. Both of them faster than Kennington out of the turn that time. Side by side through turns 3 and 4. Johnson on the bottom, Kane on the top, trying to fend off that 48 for second. Robbie Gordon might make it 3 wide here. He's thinking about it, and he will. 3 wide for second place into turn 1. Johnson quick to retract. Kane gets in front of the 48, side by side for second now between the 31 and 12. Kennington loving this in his mirror. Gordon with a great exit there out of turn 4 on the bottom, and he is going to clear Casey Kane for second. Johnson going to duck underneath for third. Still such a conglomerate up front here. Montoya underneath the Jimmy Johnson, that's for fourth. Still side by side for second into turn 3. Kane trying to hang around the outside. Altel versus AT&T, and Robbie Gordon clear, but here comes Montoya to make it a third wireless horse up for this second spot. Side by side, 31 and 84. Robbie Gordon trying to clear him on the top. He will. Does Kane clear the 84? He does not. Montoya keeps it with him just about on the quarter panel. And he is going to clear him off of turn number 4 that time. Trying to go around the outside of Robbie Gordon. Instead opens the door for Montoya again. Well inside the second half of this race now. DJ Kennington, your race leader on lap number 49. And here from the Coca-Cola Cup Series, we're going to take you to NASCAR Crank It Up here on NASCAR on ESPN. Lap number 53 here from Las Vegas as Juan Pablo Montoya, taking away the lead from DJ Kennington, puts his 84 back into first as Robbie Gordon sits second. Brad Keselowski, who's found another gear on this run, he's moved into third. That 2-car got something mighty fast under him on this run, has picked up a lot of spots since that first pit stop, and that 2 went the right way on the adjustment, and he has found himself up in the mix for the lead, trying to find a way around Robbie Gordon for second here. Really drove it in there. But Gordon holds him off on the outside. Kennington might re-overtake him for P3. And he does just that. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s number 88 rounds out the top 5 back of your screen. 30 laps to go. Next time by for your race leaders as fuel starts to become a bit of a question as this race winds down. We have yet to have a yellow in this event. And the question is if this run will be longer than the first run. Usually that first run is a lap or 2 shorter than the rest of them. As Gordon and Montoya side by side for the lead. First lap cars up the road are the 30 and 5, still a full set of corners in front of the leaders. And we see our first pit stops. Couple of cars on pit road. Jimmy Johnson is one of them. Robbie Gordon's going to head in from the inside battle for the lead. So this run ends up being right about the same, maybe even a lap or 2 shorter than the first run. So we might see some fuel strategy at the end of this thing if they keep it green. Couple of Pontiacs, Montoya and Keselowski stay out another time. We will see a couple drivers probably make it one more time after this. But Keselowski and Montoya are going to bring it in on lap number 57, your race leader. Number 84 for Red Bull Racing brings it down pit road with the Penske and Yates cars in tow. And Kansas, number 17, is the first car to make it out one extra time. Makes it to lap number 58 with Clint Boyer's number 4 in tow. And it'll be 28 laps to go for the last couple drivers coming down pit road. Matt Kenseth, 17, is one of the last ones. Boyer in with him. See if anybody else stays out an extra time. I do not believe anyone will. As all those drivers you see top of the screen are drivers who already made their pit stops. And Jimmy Johnson with the shortcut should move into first place here, as he did on the first pit stop, though this time with an undercut, pit earlier than anybody else. Edwards is number 19, also made up some spots thanks to the shortcut. You saw him, but I believe should be net P6 in the McDonald's Chevrolet. So Johnson going to be passing the last couple pitters this time by. Kenseth and Boyer leaving pit road just outside the top 15, if I am not mistaken. Kenseth will be right around that 15th to 18th range in the midst with Leffler, Gordon, and those guys behind. His teammate Biffle back there as well. So pit cycles finish up. Jimmy Johnson's 48 in the lead. And we have a problem on the racetrack. It is Ryan Newman's number 38 blowing up. And he is smoking heavily. That is going to bring out the yellow flag that everyone was dreading. So right after that pit cycle concludes, Newman, the pole sitter, who is having a pretty good run tonight, has his engine grenade. And we are going to be under caution for the first time after 60 laps. Jimmy Johnson has the lead at the stripe, and we are under yellow here at Vegas. So fuel strategy goes out the window. Rough break for a lot of those guys who are banking on it. Kenseth and Boyer, who made it that extra lap. That was important for them. And another car with an issue is the 30 of Casey Atwood has a tire fly apart on him under the yellow flag, and he has to bring it down a closed pit. So Jimmy Johnson in the lead. See if anybody pits to top off on fuel. And the answer is going to be no. Atwood hoping to stay on the lead lap here as he's going to get his tire changed. I'm not sure he's going to. And no, too much damage on the race car. He's going to retire from the race due to that tire coming apart. Tore the inner fender apart too much, so he's out of the race. Just outside 20 laps to go. Jimmy Johnson's number 48 in the lead here at Las Vegas. And we will be right back here from the UAW-Daimler-Chrysler 400. Back from intermission here at Vegas as we get set to go green on lap number, let's see here, 65 for the race leaders when they cross next time by. Jimmy Johnson's number 48 in the lead after a well-timed yellow flag brings his undercut into first. DJ Kennington sits in second in one of the fastest cars of today's race in the second half. Robbie Gordon sits in third. Keselowski may be one of the biggest movers of today's race, especially in that middle portion, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. in fifth, who has also made up a lot of spots over the course of this race, started in 35th. So a great recovery drive from Earnhardt Jr. to put his Yates 88 car in the top five. And Edwards, Stewart, Sadler, Kane, and Montoya round out the top 10. Great recovery drive from that 83 as well. Taking the restart with 21 laps to go as Jimmy Johnson hasn't maybe hasn't been the fastest member of this top five who have been battling for the win, but has definitely played the strategy right up to this point. Seemed like he might have been off strategy before that yellow flag came out. Really put him back in this thing, though the question remains of if these guys can still make it. They all seem like they're going to. Nobody came in to top off on fuel under that yellow flag. Newman out with an engine issue, and Atwood out with a tire problem. 21 to go. Jimmy Johnson and DJ Kennington going to lead us to this green flag, and we are underway. Johnson with a good jump, but so did Kennington. Gordon and Keselowski not off to a good start from third and fourth, although the two got off a lot better than the 31 did. Gordon got caught sleeping from third. They go side by side for the third spot. Johnson a good run out of turn two. Holds the lead. Down the back stretch and into turn three. Kennington going to try and set Johnson up for this front stretch. But Johnson, a fantastic jump out of the gate. 20 laps to go here from Las Vegas. Johnson, who entered this race 10th in points, looking for his first victory of the season. DJ Kennington looking for his second. Robbie Gordon, it would be his fourth. Brad Keselowski also looking for what I believe would be his first win of the season as well. It would. Junior looking for his first win of the year as well. A lot of drivers looking to make something happen. Johnson, comfortable lead since the restart, continuing to pull away from Kennington, who has not looked his best out of the restart. And with dwindling time in this race, might be beginning to fade out of the chance at the win, but definitely far from over. Kennington looking like he might be warming his car up. Had a better 3 and 4 that time. Gordon clear in third. Fourth and fifth is Keselowski and Jr. Tony Stewart and Kane, two drivers who have been competitive in the top 5 tonight. Also 6th and 7th. Whole top 7 through to 2nd place. We're single file and bunched up through 1 and 2. Kennington, a monster run down the back, takes it all the way to the inside of Johnson for the lead. And he cleared him out of turn 4. What a move by DJ Kennington. Wrapped the bottom line, and he moves into first. What a jump in pace for Kennington, and he leaves Johnson in the dust out of turn 2. And that 81 has checked out with 16 to go. We saw it earlier this season. It was at Milwaukee that 81 car got his one and only win so far this season, where he got out to an absolutely monster lead and simply walked away with the win. And he now, with 15 to go, has checked out from Jimmy Johnson. It is a 2nd lead already. It was at that Vegas, or excuse me, not here at Vegas, that he's beginning to pull away, and it was at Milwaukee that broke his wide margin apart and pulled out to a 6-second lead over his own teammate Carl Edwards to positively walk away with the victory at Milwaukee. His one win this year hasn't quite pulled away to that kind of margin here. Johnson still hanging with him, gained a little bit of time back. It's not over yet, but approaching 10 to go. Sits out in front of the 48 and 31 by a pretty wide margin. It's Johnson 2nd, Gordon 3rd, Keselowski 4th, Earnhardt Jr. 5th. Battling for 6th is Tony Stewart and Elliott Sadler. What a comeback drive by this 83. Was about 20 spots behind his teammate Montoya, who looked like he had a shot at winning this race at one point. 12 laps to go. Johnson trying to make headway and catch back up to Kennington, who is looking dangerously close to scooting away with the win. Once again, gain time on Johnson. It was only a couple hundredths. Robbie Gordon still putting pressure on the 48, saying, look, man, that 81 scooting away. We got 11 laps to go. If you don't go, I gotta go. Might have a shot at 2nd down the backstretch into turn 3. Battle for 4th. Keselowski and Earnhardt Jr. Sadler into the mix in the 83. Big run by Robbie Gordon for 2nd place down the front stretch. He's going to take it to the inside. But couldn't hang with him. Johnson clears him on the top with 10 to go. Kennington still not out of the woods yet. Junior's going to try to go around the outside of Robbie Gordon here for 3rd. What a move by the 88. Did he clear him? Not quite. Gordon on the bottom on the front stretch stays with him. But Junior might very well take that spot away. Could get all the way to 2nd. And he does clear Robbie Gordon for third. Johnson closing in on Kennington for what could be this race win. Junior maybe faster than the both of them. Keselowski also around the outside of Robbie Gordon. He goes all the way to the top. Try to get to the outside of Junior, couldn't do it. 88's thinking about going to the outside of Johnson for second. Gordon might have a chance at P2. Keselowski almost took it 3 wide up the middle. Huge battle for the runner-up spot here. They are 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 behind. Gordon back to second. Johnson trying to block both lanes and hold on to third. Junior maybe with a chance around the outside. Couldn't hang with him. Kennington absolutely adoring this dogfight in his mirror. Robbie Gordon, Jimmy Johnson still fighting for second. And you gotta think one of these guys has got to prevail. Keselowski on the bottom of 3 wide. Gordon all the way up top. Can the two get all of them? No, he can't. They all stay in order as Gordon clears them all on the outside of 3 wide. What a daring attempt by Keselowski on the bottom. Johnson once again trying to take away second place. This time by for the leaders, 5 laps to go. And it's just turning into a who's going to get second, though Kennington is definitely not out of the woods. Sadler pulls into the battle. Does he have a say in this mix? All the way up to the bumper of Johnson. Gordon trying to stay on that outside, get clear of the 48. Big run out of turn 4. Does he get in front? He does not. Stewart now in the mix. Kevin Harvick and Matt Kenseth into this battle up front. Johnson a great run out of 2 on the bottom, trying to get clear, but taking 3 to go this time. I really don't know if any of them can get to Kennington, who has once again pulled out a big margin. Gordon clear on the top. Sadler clear Johnson as well. Stewart, they are hounding that 48. Contact between Sadler and Robbie Gordon. 31 all the way up the track. Almost a wreck into turn 1. Sadler moves into P2. Stewart to third. Bump and run by Elliott Sadler to second place. Out of turn 4, 2 laps to go. Does Gordon answer back with the 83? Stewart jumps underneath him for third. 3 and almost 4 wide. Look at this pack here from about 4th on back. Cars coming down pit road for fuel at the end of this race. 96, 44, and 5 ran out of gas. This time out of turn 4 for DJ Kennington. 1 lap to go. 3 wide for second place. Robbie Gordon up the middle. Stewart on the bottom. But all of that not gonna matter. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. He won in commanding fashion at Milwaukee. He cruised out of the field this time. DJ Kennington, rounding turn number 4, concludes his second win of the season in commanding fashion here at Vegas. To the line for second. Not to Elliott Sadler. What a race for that second spot at the end of this race. Wow. And it was a conglomerate of a pack for that second position. Oh my goodness. And you saw the bump and run from Elliott Sadler on Robbie Gordon. It just gave him the tap, shipped him off to the very outside lane, and it's what got him P2. And then the photo finish with the man that he bump and ran for the second spot, but all only for P2 as DJ Kennington wins his second race of 2007. And he walked away with it here tonight. But just what a race for P2. There were 13 cars within 0.7 of a second for that second position back there. Unbelievable. But it doesn't matter to DJ as he collects win number 2 of this season. The winner here tonight from Las Vegas is the 81 car. That'll do it for coverage here from Vegas as DJ Kennington concludes win number 2 of the year. Walked away with it there after getting past Jimmy Johnson. It was a muscle move from that 81 to get past the 48. And he takes home the win here tonight. Next week, it'll be week number 10 as we head to the second of 3 races on the West Coast. It'll be California for the Auto Club 500. But that'll do it, and we will see you next time. I'm your host, Caden Reif. It's been a pleasure to have you along as always, and we will see you next time. And as always, have yourself a good one.
It's a long way to the top.